Hey guys, it's Lisa, the purple haired mom, and I figured out a way to actually be live on my Facebook profile. Yay, go me. So I won't have to put up a replay because you guys are gonna get to see it live. So before I do anything, I would like to apologize for this, but it's a snowy day in Ohio and I am not trying to go anywhere, so I'm not trying to look pretty. So I'm going to run my intro and then we are going to talk because it's important because it affects my family and it affects a lot of other families and it needs to stop, period. So be right back in just a few shakes. All right, guys. So today, if you're, I don't know what you can all see on different platforms. So I know on my Facebook page, it actually showed my description of what this video is. And if you can see the actual thumbnail, then you can see what this video is. And it's called Your Family Doesn't Match. Okay. I see so many people. Okay. I'm going to lean over and get some lotion because my hands are really dry. I see so many people on news posts, on people's personal posts, talking about how racism doesn't exist. There is no such thing as racial bias. This is something that people are making up to get attention. Okay. And those are the people that I really want to take and shake them by their faces because these are people that usually have no freaking clue. Okay, no clue whatsoever, none. They don't understand because they've never gone through it. I've actually had a person, I won't call them a friend because frankly, they've done too much at this point to be called a friend. So this person actually sat here and argued with me. Now, let me tell you, this person is a upper middle class white male, okay? Argued with me that he had been racially profiled in Gary, Indiana because he's white. Because the cops stopped him for bringing a crap ton of alcohol across the street to a house where there were known minors who had gotten in trouble for drinking. And they asked him if he was helping these minors drink. And he was upset that thinking that they stopped him because he was white. I was like, no, they stopped you because you had a bunch of alcohol and you were going over to a house where known issues happen. That's why they stopped you. It had nothing to do with you being white. But he kept insisting that he had been, oh, love you too. Mwah. He had been insisting that he was racially profiled. Pay no attention to the mocks in the background. Actually, pay all the attention because look at this floof right here. But yeah, so this video came about because I was on TikTok. Yes, I am 40 something years old on TikTok. Get over it. But there's this woman on TikTok. She has 3 adopted children and 1 biological child. Her oldest child is 17 years old and she wasn't able to have any more kids biologically after that. And she adopted 3 children. 2 are biracial children and 1 is her youngest is a small white child. And oh my God, he's so adorable. He is freaking adorable. It has come down to the fact that this woman has to now carry around the adoption papers in her freaking purse because of the amount of times that people have stopped her because he shouldn't be with her. And I'm not going to say it's just white people doing this because she's had plenty black people stop her and criticize her for adopting a white child because why didn't she just adopt a black child? Why is this even a thing? Who cares? This child was in need of love. This child was in need of a home. This child was in need of a parent, 2 parents. So this woman and her husband took this child who needed love and care and brought him into their home and give him all the love and attention that this child could possibly need. What is the problem? Why are we looking at this? Why are we looking at this? Why are we looking at this? Why? She's had the cops called on her on several occasions. She's had women stop her from leaving the store because they thought she was kidnapping this child. Now, I've seen people come to these ignorant asses defense saying, well, she was trying to prevent a kidnapping. You never know. That's funny because if it was a white woman and a white child, would they have stopped? Because I've seen cases where they have talked about that a child was being kidnapped by somebody of their same race, and the child actually reached out for help, and the person didn't do anything because it didn't look odd to them. But because mom's black and the child's white, that looks odd to them. So we have to do something, and we have to say something about it. She just posted a video yesterday because the cops were called by some random Karen as she was leaving her house and thought it was odd. This is a person who lives in the neighborhood, so they've seen her before. So it was odd to them that she still had this white child. So she called the police. What they didn't know is that her husband, a black man, is a police officer. Guess who got the call? Her own husband got the call about her kidnapping their son. Now, why am I so up in arms about it? There's a little decal. It's right here. I hope everybody can see this. This is a rendering that an artist on BizBabe Logos made of me and my daughter. Now you can see her and you can see me. It's on my thumbnail. You can see her and you can see me. This is my son. Why does this mean so much to me? Because I've been there. I've been stopped on the street and asked, why did I have these children with me? I've been stopped on the street and asked if I was the babysitter. My children have been stopped on the street to ask if they're okay, if they feel safe, if they know me. How do they know me? This is my everyday life. I have had a woman when I lived in California. I was leaving the Ralph's, which is the California equivalent to Kroger. I was leaving Ralph's with my daughter. We were grocery shopping. We were getting some stuff because we were going to make a cake. And she wanted to make a pink cake, so we were getting all the stuff to get, and we were headed out to the car, and we were being followed by this woman. And Turbo, could you please stop? You're being distracting. We were being followed by this woman. This woman parked her car behind my car. So we couldn't leave. When I got out of the car to ask her what she was doing, she said, I'm protecting that child. What are you doing with that child? And I said, with my daughter? And she said, look at her and look at you. That's not your child. I have a friend, and I really wish she was on here, but I'm pretty sure she is probably up to her elbows in her own, life right now. My friend Nikki, and I wish she was on here because I'd love to ask her if she has the same issues. She is very much a very steadfast person about racial equality, and there's a reason for that. She adopted 2 black boys. The most adorable, oh my God, you guys, the most adorable little, you just want to do this to Malcolm and Louie. You just want to do this all day long. They're the cutest little smiley, happy boys. But I really want to ask, and, I might see if she's free that, maybe I can ask her. But I'd love to know if she runs into this. She and her husband are white, and she's got 2 black boys. They're the only children they have. And, I wonder if she runs into this issue. Now, I don't have the option of tagging along adoption papers in my purse because my daughter and my son and all my kids are mine. They came out of my body. So I have to sit here and explain to people that it is possible for these children to come out of my body. Not everybody wants to believe it. The incident at the store, it took almost 3 hours to explain how I had to sit here and explain my genetics to the police officer. And it wasn't until a biracial officer showed up on the scene and said, basically put a stop to it and said, that's enough. This child is not in any stress. The only stress this child is under is what you guys have put her under. This child is not in any danger. This is her mother. He said, if you just stop and you just look at them, you can see that this is her mother. I am half black, half white. My black father, his mother, was half black, half white. So when it came to me, I am the only one of my father's children who has a white mother. Except for my brother, but my brother was actually adopted. But biologically, I am the only one of my father's children who has a white mother. So because of that, I have more white in my DNA than I do black. So when I had children with a white man, it was basically a roll of the dice of what they were going to turn out to look like. Now, Jaina, right here, she has blonde hair. You can see just from the drawing. I know you guys have seen my pictures. I mean, you've seen her in videos. You've seen her, it's not like she's not posted places. She's got blue eyes. She's got porcelain skin, and she's got blonde hair. But you know what? You know who she looks like? If you're on Facebook, you'll see a comment from over here from my cousin. She looks like her. That is my biological cousin who has porcelain skin and blonde hair. You don't have to match to be family. You don't. This child right here, he may not look very dark. It's wintertime, so he looks really light right now, but this is in the springtime. This child right here gets very dark in the summer. Sometimes he gets darker than me. He tans like I don't know what. My older son Josh, I would show you a picture, but he is you know what? I might actually have one on my phone. But my older son Josh is, he's darker. Not right now, because this is going to be like really hard to find a picture of him because he really does not like pictures. It's actually pretty stinking funny. Okay, you know what? Here's a good picture. I always have problems holding my phone up. So there's Jaden and Josh. They're not dark. They're not dark. It's wintertime. Right now they are pale as pale can be. I am too, but I still look like this. But it's, I have freckles. My aunt on my dad's side has freckles. My grandmother on my dad's side had red hair. My aunt has red hair. Genetics are not just black and white. And the sooner that you ignorant people who want to judge get it through your head, the better off we're going to be. Just because you see a white man with a black child, do you get all up in arms? No, a lot of you will probably say, bless him. He took that young child in. That child needed a family. But you see a black man or a woman with a white child, and that doesn't look right. What exactly doesn't look right about a picture like this? What about this doesn't look right? What doesn't look right? You know what? Let me pull up my thumbnail from my video that I'm doing right now. Let me go ahead and pull that up, because please explain to me what is not right about this. What doesn't look right? Is it the fact that somebody of color couldn't possibly have the means, the money, or the time, the resources to care for a child that happens to be white? What is it that makes a white family with black kids blessed, but a black family with white kids suspect? But I'm not going to say you guys, because I'm not talking about like the people that I know, that I'm talking about those who think that there is no racial disparity out there, that there is no racial bias, that there is no racial issues, because it's just something made up in our heads to get attention, because we want free stuff. We want this, we want that. No, how about we want to not have to deal with it? Thought about that? We want to not have to deal with it. I looked like this walking around with my mother in the 80s. Nobody said a word. Nobody ever thought that I was not where I was supposed to be. Granted, my mother and I have the exact same fucking face. Rest her soul. Nobody said anything. It's sad that I remember my dad wanting to take the boys to Georgia for a family reunion and being concerned that maybe he should have like my name on speed dial or have their birth certificates, because he was afraid somebody was going to accuse him of having kidnapped his own grandkids. I don't understand how you can say there is no racial barrier. It's not something that we put there. It's not something that it's not. Is it the 60s, the 50s where it's segregation? No. But we still have a lot of people who think in that mindset, who think that you need to be with your kind and you need to be with your kind. So why are you adopting out of your kind? Or why does your kid not look like you? I actually had somebody tell me that my children should be raised by their white father, because then they would learn about their own heritage. Pretty sure I can teach them about the Irish and Scottish culture on my mom's side of the family. Not to mention the fact that there's a New York side of the family that will put a middle finger up your ass so quickly your head will spin. I don't know how the guy did not have enough pockets for the audacity that he was carrying, because I just don't even understand it. But there's no racial barrier. We don't have that issue. It's all in my head. So all these people that have opened their mouths to mothers across the world, to fathers across the US, to all these people, because it didn't look right, it must be all in our head. We must have imagined the whole thing. So somebody called DC, because the scarecrow's running around with his little gassing us all. So we're all having one big giant hallucination that there's racial barriers in this country. Somebody called Batman because he needs to come and get his dude. This is not a mass hysteria. This is called ignorance is bliss. Just because you've never seen it or because you've never had it happen to you, or, well, I have Black friends that have never, if you ever say the words, I have Black friends, cancel yourself now. I'm sorry. Cancel yourself now, because that is the things that you never, ever, ever want to say. If you ever want to not sound racist, is, I don't mean to, I'm not racist, but I mean, I have Black friends. So I work with Black people. I don't care. I don't care. Because if what you're about to say, you wouldn't say in front of those friends that are Black people, in front of your coworkers that are Black people, it's probably racist. It's all about how you were raised. And it's not just people that you don't know. I remember my own grandmother coming to me one day and apologizing because she had said something that she did not realize was actually slightly inappropriate, because she forgot. She looked at me as her granddaughter. She didn't look at me as the one who stood out in the family picture. She didn't see that. She saw me as her granddaughter. So when she said something, we had a lady that used to come clean our house. She was a wonderful woman, amazing. Her name was Bessie. And she actually had helped with my grandfather before he passed. And she wanted to keep on helping. So she would come a couple days a week and clean the house. And I guess my grandmother was upset because I had left a mess. And she said, this is not the times of slavery. She's not our slave. Be more mindful of what you're doing. And then she stopped and she looked at me, and she remembered that if we were back in the times of slavery, I wouldn't be in the house with her. So some people it's ignorance, and some people it is literally this line of bigotry that has gone through family after family after family after family after family after family. If you don't stop it, it's going to continue on. If you continue to be blind about it, it's going to continue on. If you're going to think that, well, I don't see it, so it doesn't exist, then it's going to continue on. There's racial bias everywhere. The fact that people have to whiten their names in order to get considered for jobs it's real. I've had people look at my name and then meet me and do a double take because my name doesn't sound like what I should look like. They assumed that they see my family or something, I've had the double takes happen. But we need to put it to rest. We need to put it to bed. It's 2021. Get over it. There's people of every single color. We're all shades of brown, just baked to different temperatures. So next time you want to open your mouth because you see a family that doesn't match, but you see the child smiling and laughing and mommy and daddy and all of this, there's one thing that you can do. It's this great thing that if everybody did it, it would be fantastic. Mind your own damn business. Look for the signs. If the child is uncomfortable, if the child looks like they don't want to go with them, just because I look like this and she looks like this doesn't mean that I've kidnapped my child. So that is my video today. I would have posted yesterday, but we were supposed to have maintenance yesterday. And of course, because of the snow, they canceled it. So they're rescheduling that. But just be kind. Don't make assumptions. Not every Black person you see is a thug. Not every Black person you see is some welfare, you know, person who doesn't want to get a job. Don't make the assumption. There's a nice little word in that. Don't be an ass. Because it's not going to do you very good to be an ass. I'm going to go call Batman now because obviously I have mass hysteria to deal with. I'll see you guys on Sunday.